Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Lockmyer. Did you know there was such a thing as grief brain? And you know you have it when you put your keys in the freezer or the ice cream in the pantry. Or in my situation, I paid for gas and then drove away before pumping it in my car. So we all have stories about that, where we're not paying attention or we're distracted. But something does happen to our brain during grief, and it takes grieving people longer to respond to things. It's a real condition. Our brain is not working to full capacity, and we need to recognize that, as it can get really frustrating and discouraging as we don't understand why we seem to be having so many problems focusing. It's so easy for us and those around us to forget that we may have suffered a tremendous life-altering loss, and yet we wonder why we aren't functioning normally or as sharp as usual. It's actually kind of ridiculous. I like to say we're suffering the 4 Ds: disorganized, distracted, disoriented, and distraught. Whose brain wouldn't be impacted by those 4 things? So what can we do about it? Number 1, remind yourself that you are normal. Yes, that's right, you are normal. This is a normal reaction to an extraordinary loss. There's nothing wrong with you. Number 2, lower your expectations. You're not going to be able to be as fast and focused as you were. Don't put as much on your plate. Lessen your load wherever you can. If you can hand off responsibilities, do that at work and at home. Give up some of the things that you might normally expect yourself to get done. Get help when you can, and in some cases, get someone to check your work if your work's really important and you're working with things that have to be exact. Number 3, give yourself extra time to get places and to get things done. Even reading can take longer as we process slower, so give yourself that time. Number 4, make lists. This is something that's important to do all the time if you can, whether it's on your phone or you use a notepad. I encourage you to keep a notepad and a pen by your bed. Now, of course, my problem was I would make a list and then lose it, but at least I made the list. And Number 5, this kind of goes with lower your expectations. Give yourself grace. You should not be operating on all cylinders right now. If someone had a broken leg, you would not expect them to walk as fast as they used to. Well, we have broken hearts when we're grieving, and we need a time of recovery too. So it's just not an injury that's seen, but it's there. This grief brain can come and go, so don't think you'll be done with it after a month or after the service. A year after my husband died, it was a particularly tough time for me, and in a 2-week period, I hit things with my car 3 times. I backed into poles and a parking lot pillar that were easy to see, but I hit them. My brain just could not compute. I had 2 cars and I dented them both. I got one fixed right away, and the next week I dented it in the same spot. I was so frustrated and mad at myself. And on top of that, I was really embarrassed. I'd never hit anything before. But now I would tell myself, laugh, Anne-Marie, and give yourself grace. Grief brain is not forever. This is during your recovery period as your body is trying to adapt. And it's important to remember, like I said before, there is nothing wrong with you. Nothing. Check out my website for more information, griefandtraumahealing.com, or if you'd like to work with me on grief recovery. Thanks for listening. Of course, if you have grief brain, you may not remember anything that I just said. Thanks.